This is video 9 for MPA100 Fundamentals of Music, Cal State Monterey Bay. I'm Dr. Douglas Ovens. Video 8 introduced intervals, so we're going to build on that today in video 9 using our knowledge of scales and key signatures. And we're going to just review one quick thing. You might recall this handout. It's funny that I use that term, but this is what we looked at last time. And here's some of the intervals we talked about. I'll take this major third right here. In many of the intervals that we talked about, I talked about them in this form where two notes are playing at the same time. And just one little detail is we can call those harmonic intervals if the two notes are sounding at the same time. If the notes are one after the other, that's a melodic interval, but it's still a major third. But today what we're going to do is we're going to go on and build some new intervals and use, as I said, the major scale and our key signatures to help us figure these out. So let's take a situation like this. Let's say you need to figure out a major sixth. Well, a good trick is simply this. Let's say you need to make a major sixth and you're given the note C. I need to find the note, a major sixth above the note C. Well, knowing that C is the scale of no sharps or flats, then I know the scale of C is these notes. So all I have to do is count up the scale to the sixth degree of the scale, and that note is a major sixth above C. So if I need to write a major sixth from the note C, that's all I have to do. C and A, there's my major sixth, right like that. And that'll work for any major sixth above any note. Let's say you're given the note B flat. Same thing. I can start with the note B flat, remind myself B flat's the key of two flats. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G. G's the sixth degree of the scale. There's my major sixth above the note B flat. So again, a lot of times we want to keep these examples in our head. Major sixth. Think about your C example that you just learned. I start on the note C, I go up to the sixth degree. What if I want to make a minor sixth? Well, there's two very easy ways to do it. One, you might recall from last time I said, a major interval made smaller by half step is a minor interval. So if I find my major sixth in the method I just said, and I lower the top note a half step, there is my A flat, that's a minor sixth. You'll notice another thing, that as you practice these intervals, that they each have a very distinctive sound, and it's good to start learning those now and kind of getting those in your head. So let's go back to our major sixth. Starting from the note C, playing up here. There's that NBC sound. La da da NBC, and up to B, the words. That's a major sixth. Now every time you hear that on TV, you'll go, oh yeah, it's a major sixth. I learned something in class today. What if we want to make a major seventh above the note F? Well, again, we can use the same process of reminding ourselves that F, right here, is the key of one flat, so I can just play up. From Superman. Anyway, the note a major seventh above F is E. So what if I want to find a minor seventh above F? Well, same idea. I know my major seventh. I lower it a half step. Now there's F, E flat. There's my minor seventh. What if I get kind of a crazy problem, like I have to find a note from F flat? Well, F flat's kind of hard to keep my head around because that would be a lot of flats. I don't know a scale of F flat, but I want to do it using F because the relationships maintain with the letter relationships. Above any F, it's going to be some E, period. That's not negotiable. We may alter the E, we will alter the E, but it is an E. An E is a seventh above an F, okay? So here's what we do. Let's say, again, we have this crazy problem. I need to find something above the note F flat. Well, I can figure it out from F. So let's say I want a minor seventh above the note F flat. Well, here's my little thing here. There's where I want to end up. But I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to find a seventh above F, a major seventh, and then I'm going to lower it. There's my minor seventh. So these are the notes I have right now. I have F and E flat. But I need this minor seventh relationship from the note F flat. So I'm going to lower both of them. If I lower both of them, the relationship between the notes stays the same. That's the same sound. And it's the notes F flat to E double flat. Remember, the note a seventh above F is some kind of E. We'll come back to that in just a second. Let's say we want to deal with fifths. Remember from last week, or last video rather, that there are these things called perfect intervals, perfect consonances. A unison, same exact note, perfect unison, or a perfect fifth, the fifth we find within major scales. So let's say I need to find a perfect fifth above the note E. Same idea, 4 sharps, there's my scale. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. Twinkle, twinkle, right? There's your other interval, another interval for the day. E up to B is a perfect fifth. If I lower the B a half step, perfect intervals, when made smaller, are diminished. That's a diminished fifth. We can do the same thing to find a perfect fourth from E. A is a perfect fourth above E. And if I raise A a half step, it becomes augmented. Perfect intervals made a half step smaller are diminished. Perfect intervals made a half step larger are augmented in every case. Okay. Now notice this. Here's something that will be very handy as you work your way through these intervals. Every third is in this graphic relationship. It is always space, space. That's a third. Any other space, space, well, I don't have one right. Oh, yeah, right. A line, line. Line, line. Space, space. Line, line. The next one, that's a third. We don't know the quality yet because we have to dig deeper into it. Is it major? Is it minor? And so on. But we know it's a third. Space, skip a space, space is a fifth. Line, skip a line, is a fifth in every case. Again, we don't know the quality yet, but we do know it's a fifth if we see this graphic relationship. Space, line, skip a line, is a seventh. You notice the odd numbered intervals are on the same either space or line. Space, skip a space, is another seventh. The even numbered intervals, space, skip a space, line, in the bass clef, that's a fourth. That's a fourth. Line, skip a line to the next space up. That's a sixth. That's a sixth. Line, skip a line, skip a line, skip a line, space. Or another way to think about it is one bigger than a seventh is an octave. You'll find very quickly that these will be very recognizable, and that'll be a big help to you in figuring them out, because then you just have to dig one step deeper. I'm going to hit stop, and I'll see you next time.